Jay Sri Radheshyam, and welcome to this lecture on the AVADHUTA GITA. The AVADHUTA GITA is made one of the most dangerous spiritual books ever wrote or available due to the power of its revelations. The AVADHUTA GITA is telling the wisdom of an avatar of Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva in the same time. They incarnate together in the form of Dattatreya. This book is a popular material for Advaita Vedanta, and that's why many Gaudiya Vaishnavas or Vaishnavas worldwide are not studying it. But in this session we will study this full text. Why is not quite popular into the Vaishnava world? Because the concepts that are speaking about Brahman and the renunciation to this world is so strong and powerful that for any Vaishnava who is not fully prepared to deal with this information, it can be dangerous for their own faith. Seva, if they do seva in a temple or something, this can shake absolutely everything. And from my personal and humble point of view, I think there must be a time where we can sit and read the work of all the acharyas, no matter if they are from Sankaracharya or any other big personality who have been speaking about the Supreme Truth, because Supreme Truth is only one. The way to explain it can be different, and we must be mature enough to understand that everything is speaking about Radha and Krishna and our supreme goal, supreme truth. So nothing can be something that will trick our faith upside down. Everything must be something that will improve us. Because if that will be the point, to not read anything that is not strictly Gaudiya Vaishnava, then why we chant Jagannatha Ashtakam, Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagami Babatume? This was composed by Adi Shankar. So today the AVADHUTA GITA by Dattatreya. I am recording today the 7th of December of 2023 in the holy occasion of 𝐏𝐥𝐞𝐚𝐬𝐿. Sri 𝐏𝐥𝐿 ki Jai. 𝐬𝐮𝐩𝐸𝐿 Chandraya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadvaktaya Namo Namaha. Namaste Gurudevaya Sarvasiddhi Pradayine Sarvamangala Rupaya Sarvanada Vijayine Janjanati Mirandasya Jana Jana Sadakaya Chaksur Militanjana Tashmaya Shri Gurave Namaha. AVADHUTA GITA ki Jai. Chapter 1. Through the grace of God alone, the desire for non-duality arises in wise men to save them from the great fear. Non-duality, monistic consciousness, in which the knower, knowledge, and knowable soul and God become one, the highest realization of divinity. Fear. The word fear includes also such a state of mind as insecurity, despair, and grief, all of which arise from a consciousness of oneself as limited and separate from others, and which therefore can be dispelled only by realizing oneself as the All. 2. How shall I salute the formless being, indivisible, auspicious, and immutable, who fills all this with his self and also fills the self with his self? Salute. No form of greeting or worship is possible where there is no consciousness of distinction. Fills. The reality and substance of the so-called individual self is the divine self. 3. The universe composed of the 5 elements like water, etc. in a mirage. Oh, to whom shall I make obeisance? I who am one and taintless. 4. All is verily the absolute self. Distinction and non-distinction do not exist. How can I say it exists? It does not exist. I am filled with wonder. I will do some small parentheses between some verses that I consider interesting to comment and go a little bit deeper. But we have been reading in the previous 4 shlokas are speaking that there is not a big or a total duality, differences between us and the Supreme God. And here I'm not talking about a monistic vision. I'm talking that I am never be a material living entity. I'm never being unconscious. I never been a prisoner of my thoughts or desire. Everything, absolutely everything that has been happening with this living entity is the desire of God. There is no difference, and everything I do from the very beginning, from my eternal existence, is for the pleasure of my Thakurji, my Thakurani. There is no distinction and never existed anything in the middle between my Thakurani, my God Bhagavan, and me. For all is verily the absolute self. I am filled with wonder. 5. The essence of the world of Vedanta is this knowledge, this supreme knowledge that I am by nature the formless, all-pervasive self. I am by nature the eternal, right? The 6. There is no doubt that I am that God who is the self of all, pure, indivisible, like the sky, naturally stainless. In this verse, we're speaking about Paramatma. I am part and portion of Bhagavan. 7. I indeed am immutable and infinite of the form of pure intelligence. The absolute understanding of our true nature as a spiritual being, that we never been contaminated. Indeed, I do not know how or in relation to whom joy and sorrow exist. 8. I have no mental activity, good or bad. I have no bodily functions, good or bad. I have no verbal action, good or bad. I am the nectar of knowledge beyond the senses, pure. 9. The mind indeed is of the form of space. The mind indeed is omniface. The mind is the past. The mind is all, but in reality there is no mind. This shloka is one of my favorite. It's absolutely incredible. The mind indeed is one of the forms of space. The mind indeed is omnifaced. The mind is the past. The mind is all, but in reality there is no mind. All, the phenomenal universe, included all time and space, cosmos. In reality, in the highest realization of the spirit, there is no mind. 10. I, the one only, am all this, beyond space and continuous. How can I see the self as visible or hidden? Continuous, without the intervention of another substance, therefore homogeneous and undifferentiated. Hidden. The question of the self as being hidden or visible does not arise when oneself is that self. 11. Thus you are one. Why then do you not understand that you are the unchangeable one, equally perceived in all? O mighty one, how can you, who are ever shining, unrestricted, think of day and night? You, Dattatreya, now addresses the disciple to whom he is imparting the highest truth. 12. Know the self always to be everywhere, one and unintercepted. I am the meditator and the highest object of meditation. Why do you divide the indivisible? 13. You are not born, not do you die. At no time do you have a body. The scriptures declare in many different ways the well-known dictum, all is Brahman. This verse 13 reminds so much to several verses on Srimad Bhagavad Gita. You are not born, nor do you die. At no time do you have a body. In Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 verse 23, let me check. Yes, let's be 108% sure. Yes, it's chapter 2, verse shloka 12. Na tu evaham jatu nasam na tvam neme janadipaha na chaiva na vavishyamaha sarve vayam adha param. There has never been a time when I or you or all these kings were not in existence, and surely we shall all exist in the future. Srimad Bhagavad Gita Ki Jai. And another verse here in Bhagavad Gita also very interesting that is connected exactly with this shloka 13 of Dattatreya reads, Childhood, youth, and old age are simple phases in the journey of an embodied soul. The next phase is another body. There is nothing abnormal in this. And the 13 of Dattatreya, Srimad Bhagavad Gita Ki Jai. The 13 of Dattatreya reads, you are not born, nor do you die. At no time do you have a body. The scripture declares in many different ways the well-known dictum, all is Brahman. Exactly. Because the three superior tattva is Paramatma, Brahman, and Bhagavan, and these are indivisible, are all one. They have a different characteristics, but they are only one. And in this verse 13, this line is deadly, it's incredible. At no time do you have a body. At no time you are never part of this material reality. 14. You are He who is exterior and interior. You are the auspicious one, existing everywhere at all times. Why are you running tighter and tighter, dilute like an unclean spirit? Check how beautiful is this. Why you are running like an unclean spirit? You as Atman, soul. You cannot be dirt. You cannot be contaminated because Atman is even beyond all this material creation. It's impolluted, it's perfect. How you can be contaminated? Such a beautiful poetry here. 15. Union and separation exist in regard neither to you nor to me. There is no you, no me, nor is there this universe. All is barely the self alone. You do not belong to that which is composed of the 5 objects of sense, such as sound, nor does that belong to you. You indeed are the supreme reality. Why then do you suffer? This line is incredible. I don't know if you are enjoying it as much as I do, but this text is so powerful. You indeed are the supreme reality. And here one more time, I want to get it very clear, put it clear. We should not think on a monistic way. We must to see from our standing point as Gaudiya Vaishnava, aspirants to Gaudiya Vaishnavism. Our standing point is here and there is Radha and Krishna. But this big separation, Mahamaya, and all these stories that are basically rooting in our consciousness that we are so far and they are so far, and one day I will be pure and I will serve Radha and Krishna, this and that, here is destroyed absolutely. And the pure consciousness must be what is always eternal, Sat consciousness, eternal consciousness, that I am eternal servant of Srimati Radharani and Krishna, and never been a time I haven't been serving them. And every that have been happening in the middle, in the main while, is a Leela, Krishna Leela, because nothing goes out of the plan of Krishna. He is Thakur. How everything in the middle came? That is called avidya, ignorance. But when you are in vidya, in Veda, when you are in the truth, you understand that nothing of the avidya is real, nothing exists. Only the supreme truth exists. 17. For you there is no birth or death. For you there is no mind. For you there is no bondage or liberation, no good or evil. Why do you shed tears, my child? Neither you nor I have a name and form. 18. O mind, why do you wander about the lewd like an unclean spirit? Behold the self, indivisible. Be happy through renunciation of attachment. 19. You verily are truth, devoid of change, motionless, one, of the nature of freedom. You have neither attachment nor aversion. Why do you suffer seeking the objects of desires? 20. All the scriptures say that the truth is without attributes, pure, immutable, bodiless, and existing equally everywhere. Know me to be that. Jai Ho, Jai Guru, Jai Guru. 21. Know that which has form to be false, that which is formless to be eternal. Through the instruction of this truth, there is no longer rebirth into this world. 22. Sages say that reality is one only and the same, and through renunciation of attachment, the mind, which is one and many, ceases to exist. 23. If it is of the nature of the not-self, how can there be samadhi? If it is of the nature of the self, how can there be samadhi? If it is both is and is not, how can there be samadhi? If all is one and of the nature of freedom, how can there be samadhi? 24. You are pure, homogeneous reality, disembodied, unborn, and immutable. Yes, this is nature of soul. Why do you think of yourself as I know it here, as or as I do not know? 26. As the self is filled by the self, so is all filled continuously by you. There is no meditator, not meditation. Why does your mind meditate? Shamelessly. Shamelessly. One should be ashamed to meditate, because meditation presupposes a shameful forgetfulness of one's true nature. Why? Yogis meditate to get enlightened. Yogis meditate to achieve the supreme goal, to realize themselves. But indeed there is no realization, indeed there is no samadhi. Everything has been eternally and is in you. You are that already. What is explaining is extremely powerful. 27. I do not know the Supreme. How shall I speak of Him? I do not know the Supreme. How should I worship Him? If I am the Supreme One, who is the highest truth, who is homogeneous, being and light unto space, how then shall I speak of Him and worship Him? 28. The principle of ego is not the truth, which is homogeneous, which is free from the cause of superimposition and distinctions of perceived and perceiver. How can the ego be that which is aware of itself? 29. There is not substance whatever which is by nature unlimited. There is no substance whatever which is of the nature of reality. The very self is the supreme truth. There is neither injury nor non-injury in it. 30. You are the homogeneous reality. You are pure, bodiless, birthless, and imperishable. Why then do you have any delusion about the self? Again, why am I myself deluded? 31. When the pot is broken, the space within it is absorbed in the infinite space and become undifferentiated. When the mind becomes pure, I do not perceive any difference between the mind and the Supreme Being. 32. There is no pot, there is not pot's interior space, neither is there an individual soul, nor the form of an individual soul, known the absolute Brahman, devoid of knowable and knower. 33. Know me to be that self who is everything and everywhere at all times, the one who is eternal, Hidi, the all, the non-existent and the existent. Have no doubt. 34. There are no Vedas, no words, no gods, no sacrifices. There is certainly no caste, no stage in life, no family, no birth. There is neither the path of smoke nor the path of light. There is only the highest truth, the homogeneous Brahman. 35. If you are free of the pervaded and pervader, if you are one and fulfilled, how can you think of yourself as directly perceptible by the senses or beyond the range of the senses? One who has transcended the senses of the distinction between forms and the divine substance, the pervader, such a one therefore has constant unobstructed consciousness of divinity. Such a one has the dual realization of form and formless. In the highest state of realization, one note here in the book, sense perception is no longer distinguishable from spiritual intuition. So this is the point of view that we must take in this area. Everything that is speaking about Brahman is speaking about our inner nature as souls. This is Brahman. And soul has no body, has no form, has no maya, no illusion, has no contamination. Soul is pure and eternal and is pure consciousness. This is what we are. Luckily, in this full eternal lila, Radha and Krishna have selected us to do a different function and not to be in the Para-Brahman, disappear, but have been chosen us to serve in Nitya Lila. We are extremely fortunate. 36. Some seek non-duality, others seek duality. They do not know the truth, which is the same at all times and everywhere, which is the void of both duality and non-duality. Exactly, because Bhagavan, God, Krishna, is everything. We cannot say that Krishna is only the duality, the separation. Krishna is also the non-duality. Krishna is the origin of everything, and of course is the source of Brahman. 37. How can they describe the truth, which is beyond mind and words, which is devoid of white and other colors, of sound and other qualities? 38. When all these appear to you as false, when the body and so on appear to you like space, then you know Brahman truly. Then for you there is no dual series. 39. Even my natural self appears to me as non-distinct from the Supreme Self. It appears to be one, unlike space. How can there be meditator and meditation? 40. What I do, what I eat, what I sacrifice, what I give, all this is not mine in the least. I am pure, unborn, and decaying. I am pure, unborn, and decaying. 41. Know all this universe to be formless. Know all this universe to be without change. Know all this universe to be of purified body. Know all this universe to be of the nature of the Absolute. 42. You are verily the truth. There is no doubt about it. Otherwise, what do I know? Why do you consider the self, which is perceptible to itself, as imperceptible? Otherwise, if one does not perceive every being as the self, one is still ignorant. And this verse 42, extremely powerful, and also relates so much with a verse in Bhagavad Gita that says the sage, in virtue of the knowledge, of perfect knowledge, see no difference between a brahmana, a tiger, any living entity, everything, he sees everything as God. Very similar verse. 43. My child, how can there be illusion and no illusion, shadow and lack of shadow? All this is one truth. All this is of the nature of space and without time. 44. I am free in the beginning, in the middle, and in the end. I am never bound. This is my sure knowledge. I am naturally spotless and pure. 45. The world universe, beginning with the principle of cosmic intelligence, is not in the least manifest to me. All is indeed Brahman alone. How can there be any existence in caste or stage of life for me? 46. I know that all, in every way, is the one indivisible I, which I self-sustain and full, while the five elements, beginning with ether, are empty. 47. The self is neither eunuch, man, nor woman. It is neither idea nor imagination. How can you think the self to be full of joy or joyless? Full of joy. Here joy, this note in the book, is used in the same sense of relative joy as perceived by the senses of the mind. 48. The self certainly does not become pure through the practice of cis-limbed yoga. It certainly is not purified by the destruction of the mind. It certainly is not made pure by the instructions of the teacher. Is it in itself the truth? It is itself the illuminate one. 49. Parenthesis, when it reads the six-limbed yoga, is talking about the 6 parts or steps, namely posture, control of prana, self-withdrawal, concentration, meditation, and samadhi. 49. There is no body made up of 5 elements, nor is there anyone who is disembodied. All is verily the self alone. How can there be the 3 stages and the 4th? 50. I am no bound, I am not, indeed, liberated. I am no different from Brahman, neither doer or nor enjoyer. I am devoid of the distinction of the pervaded and the pervader. 51. As water, when water has been poured into water, has no distinction, so Purusha and Prakriti appears no different to me. 52. If indeed you are never bound or liberated, how then can you think yourselves with form or as formless? 53. I know your supreme form to be directly perceivable like the sky. I know your lower form to be as water in a mirage, like the sky without division or distinction, without change. 54. I have neither teacher nor instructor, no instruction, limiting adjunct nor activity. Know that I am by nature pure, homogeneous, bodiless, like the sky. This line is so beautiful. So beautiful, Krishna, so beautiful poetry. Know that I am by nature pure, homogeneous, bodiless, like the sky. 55. You are pure, you are without a body. Your mind is no higher than the highest. You need not be ashamed to say, I am the self, the supreme truth. 56. Why are you weeping, O mind? Do you, the self, be the self by means of the self? Drink, my child, the supreme nectar of non-duality, transcending all divisions. 57. There is neither knowledge nor ignorance, no knowledge combined with ignorance. He who has always such knowledge is himself knowledge. 58. There is no need of knowledge, reasoning, time, space, instruction from a teacher, or attainment of samadhi. I am naturally the perfect consciousness, the real, like the sky, spontaneous and steady. The self, which is consciousness itself, can never lose consciousness of its true nature, and therefore samadhi is superfluous. What a powerful line. 59. I was not born, nor have I death. I have no action, good or evil. I am Brahman, stainless, without qualities. How can there be bondage or liberation for me? 60. If God pervades all, if God is immovable, full, undivided, then I see no division. How can He have exterior or interior? 61. The whole universe shines, undivided and unbroken. Oh, the Maya, the great illusion, the imagination of duality and non-duality. This is Maya, the imagination of duality and non-duality. 62. Always, not this, to both the formless and the formed. Only the Absolute exists, transcending difference and non-difference. Not this, no formed or formless object can be considered to be the ultimate reality. 63. You have no mother, no father, no wife, no son, no relative, no friends. You have no likes or dislikes. Why is this anguish in your mind? 64. O mind, for you there is no day nor not night, rising or setting. How can the wise imagine an embodied state for the bodiless? 65. The self is neither divided nor undivided, nor has it sadness, happiness, and the like, nor is it all or less than all. Know the self to be immutable. 66. I am not the doer or enjoyer. Work have I none. No, now or formerly. I have no body, nor I am bodiless. How can I have or not have a sense of myness? 67. I have no force, such a passion, and the like, nor have I any sorrow arising from the body. Know me to be the one self, vast and like the sky. 68. Friend mind, of what use is much vain talk? Friend mind, all this is mere conjecture. I have told you that which is the essence. You indeed are the truth, like the sky. 69. In whatever place yogis die, in whatever state, there they dissolve, as the space of a jar dissolves into the sky. 70. Giving up the body in a holy place or in the house of a chandala, the yogi, even if he has lost consciousness, become identified with the Absolute as soon as he is free of the body. 71. The yogis consider duty in life, pursuit of wealth, enjoyment of love, liberation, and everything movable or immovable, such as a man and so on to be a mirage. 72. This is my certain perception. I neither perform nor enjoy past action, future action, or present. 73. The AVADHUTA alone, pure in evenness of feeling, abides happy in an empty dwelling place, having renounced all. He moves about naked. He perceives the Absolute, the All, within himself. 74. Where there are neither the three stages of consciousness, not the fourth, there one attains the Absolute in the Self. How it is possible to be bound or free, where there is neither virtue nor vice? 75. The AVADHUTA never knows any mantra in Vedic meter nor any tantra. This is the supreme utterance of the AVADHUTA, purified by meditation and merged in the sameness of infinite being. 76. There exists neither complete void nor voidlessness, neither truth nor untruth of the scriptures, has uttered this spontaneously from his own nature. Truth, complete truth, does not exist in the plane of relative existence. Chapter 2.